detail, and I'm going like, I really don't get it. I really don't get what the bug up their ass is. It's like I talked about it before.
Yeah.
It's like there's one aspect of like Aish is the last people on Earth who should be complaining about other people, right? But even if it wasn't Aish, what if it was just some local shul? I don't get it. I really don't get it. If I was running a shul and you came, I wouldn't care. I'd be like, what do you do? And you go, I write about porn. I would crack up. I think that's funny, And it's like, what do you do? And the guy would say, well, I write comedy for, some TV show. And I'd like, it's all the same. It's just a parnasa.
Right.
This one's a doctor and this one, and what's so holy? You called Yick holy. Kind of made me cringe. But you called Yick.
That's young Israel Century City for people keeping score.
Okay, who are those people? They're doctors and lawyers. What is a doctor? Screenwriters?
Yeah.
Okay, so you want me to dissect these kind of people?
Yeah.
Can I do it?
Yeah.
Let's talk about how holy the profession of doctors is, right?
Yeah.
Guy goes to med school and he chooses to go to med school. Nobody forced him into it, right?
Yeah.
He chooses what he wants to do and he comes out a gynecologist. What's his life?
He looks at women's vaginas.
He looks at pussy his whole life.
Yeah.
What's the difference between him doing that and you doing that as a porn guy? Right? What is the difference? Oh, but he's saving somebody's life. You know what? He didn't have to do that. He could have gone into, been a dick's doctor or something. It could have been like what's a guy thing? The guys look at guys. A hair doctor.
Yeah.
He could have been like a doctor, a dermatologist of guys only. No, he's going to be a chick doctor and he's going to look at their cracks. I'm like, you think this guy's so holy? Oh yeah. Ask Aish if you said come back to him and say I'm in med school now and I'm going to be I'm going to be GYN. I'm going to be a vagina doctor and see if they'll take you back. Oh, that's respectable. There's no difference. What's so holy about that? Talk about lawyers. Lawyers. Oh, we're all half. I'm saying half of Aish and half of Yick are going to be lawyers, right? Half of Beth Jacob are going to be lawyers. What's a lawyer?
A paid liar.
He's a guy who they defend the lowest scumbags on the planet. Am I right?
Yeah.
And they don't have a problem with it. It's their legal obligation. It's their moral code that they take, that they must, the constitutional right. These are scumbags. These are people who would break your neck, steal your car, rape your daughter. They will defend them. Oh, that's an honorable profession. You know what? I don't understand how because you look at porn, you look at boobies, that's somehow worse than the guy who defends some shitbag in a courtroom. I'm not condemning lawyers. I would love the lawyer to stay. But to make the comparison and say that guy's okay and you're no good, that I have a problem with.
Yeah.
Make these moral fucking judgments that are not coming from Torah. Yeah. It's just coming out of some guy's ass. That fucking bothers me. Okay? I just wanted to get that off my chest. And then you mentioned screenwriters. But you know what? You can go on primetime TV and flip on every channel on every night, right? Yeah. And you're going to find crap. You know what I mean? They're going to be. It's going to be. There's nothing Jewish on.
Yeah.
There's nothing Torah dict on. Yeah. Every single one of these shows, it goes against Torah ideas, right?
And you can be a president of a shul and write and produce R-rated movies. You can be a president of an Orthodox shul here in Pico Robinson.
Right.
No problem. There's nudity and sex in the movies. No problem. You can still be a president of a shul.
Absolutely.
But you blog, which is not prestigious. Anything a little bit racy, and we can't have that in our shul. Yeah.
They have a collective head up their ass, and you can quote me on that. And I'm reading it, and of course I'm only reading your side of the story. So I'm condemning all these people based on your side of the story. I haven't heard both sides.
Yeah, he's condemning the story. He's not condemning the actual people because he hasn't heard both sides.
Right.
And I'm not even necessarily trying to give both sides, though at times I do try in the book, but still it's my story. I'm telling you how I felt about what was going on. So we're not talking about the real people of this show. We're talking about the story that I tell in my memoir, and that's what the rabbi is reacting to.
Right. And that's what I'm reacting to, is this idea that, somehow doctors and lawyers and of people in finance. People in finance, you know what they do? They'll fuck you. You know why I got eliminated from my job? Because some dick in finance said, "Oh, you'll make a lot more money if you lay off all these people." Okay? I think that's immoral. Okay, you're going to say, "No, it's capitalism." You know what? If you're, then capitalism is becoming your religion at that point, because you're like, it's okay, send all these people, and all these poor families and send them to the unemployment line. No, he doesn't want to give them any money in unemployment. God forbid that the government should step in. So they should all just die in the gutter. Please, just fucking die already. Get out of it. That's what you are.
I never said anything about it.
You don't have to.
I just don't want to give them welfare.
You don't want to give them welfare, and it's okay
I don't want to subsidize their housing.
It's okay to put them on the street, and it's okay.
I don't want to subsidize failure in general.
Right. So, it's okay to put these people in the street, and then, God forbid,
they put themselves in the street.
How do they put themselves in the street?
They don't keep up their skills.
No, it's not. Don't judge people until you watch. I went through the retraining, and I was up with my skills, and the companies that I work for no longer exist because some dick in a suit with some MBA came in and said it would make a lot more sense to close that plant down and just keep the intellectual properties from it, and then we were all fired, right? And that's okay by you.
Yeah. And
it's my fault that my skills weren't good enough so that I can change the mind.
Job, yeah.
No, because there is no other job. They brought more people into the industry than they could hold because these MBAs came in and kicked all of us out. So you want to talk to me and they say, "Oh, well, the president of the shul is a finance guy." I say, you know what? He's a fucking douchebag, right? He's the kind of guy who puts everybody in the street. Okay, he's the reason that there's got to be welfare, and he's the reason why people are poor because he kicked them out, right? So I have a lot more problems with him than somebody who comes in and just goes, I look at porn all day. It's like whatever, man. That's between you and God. I don't have a problem with that. You're not hurting anybody, right? Right? But a douche with an MBA, there's nothing dangerous. Some guy walks in your company and he says, "I got an MBA and I got a suit." You know what I say? I say it's time to get my resume updated because this guy's a douche. He's going to come in with a hatchet and get you out of there. Right? So that guy I don't like, And some doctor goes, "Look at me, I'm looking at pussy," It's like, whatever, But don't tell me that guy is more holy than this guy because, he writes about, let me tell you something about porn, okay? Porn, boo, porn bad. You know what? Porn good. Porn good. Okay? Porn is good. Porn is good, and I'll tell you why. Because I told you this before, I'm going to say it again. Right? Right? What would happen if there was no porn, right? Right? Some of these guys are going to go out and they're going to rape people, and they're going to buy hookers and they're going to expose it in public or whatever. I say, you know what? Thank God. Keep them in their house, put on a TV, put on their computer, let them look at their action, let them do whatever they need to do in private. And I think you're servicing the community. I'm not just talking about Jews. You know what? Society as a whole. Without porn, these people are... First of all, without porn, everybody would bet Blockbuster wouldn't have went under. But this is what I think. I think porn is a good thing for society. I think it's a... What's so funny? Why is that funny?
It's just hilarious.
I think it's a good thing for society. Keep them in their house, have them, is it catharsis or whatever they want to call it?
Catharsis.
Let them get that out of them. Because let's face it, every single person, this is my belief. I've talked about this in my book. There's a bodily function that you have to take care of almost on a daily basis. Or some people it's more than once a day, whatever, right? But it's just like going to the bathroom or, eating and sleeping and you have to get off. And yeah, I will talk about it. And this is why you should read my book, because I don't have a problem talking about something that's taboo. Oh, we talked about getting off. We don't talk about that in the frum community. I talk about it, okay? And people need to get off, right? Do you want them getting off in their house, or do you want them getting off on your street by hooking up with some hooker? And if you don't want that, you should support porn. That's how I look at it.
Why can't they get off studying Torah?
They're not going to. Why don't you just eat Torah, like Rabbi Nachman said, wake up and for breakfast have Gemara, and for lunch have the Shulchan Aruch. Because, you know what, we're not holding by that. This guy needs 30 G's, he needs to squeeze them, you know what I mean?
I'm a simple man.
You know, that's where we're at, right? You know, people